Dominating all that he faced, Myles Garrett finally climbed atop the defensive mountain last season, winning his long overdue Player of the Year award. A master of his craft, 95 is into his prime, and there's an argument to be made that he might be the most valuable position player outside of quarterbacks. Let's walk you through his season and another ridiculous year of prime production to show you what greatness looks like. In the modern game, nothing is more prized than getting to the quarterback, and Garrett is an elite disruptor. Imposing havoc with athletic ability and top technique, game plans have to be built around neutralizing this man. If you leave him singled up on any snap, you asking for trouble. Let's start with the gifts from God, and the first thing tackles have to be scared of, his speed. Flying out the blocks, Myles has one of the fastest first steps in the league and turns that into elite closing speed. Rushing from the 9-tech here, Garrett is off the ball like lightning, timing the release and being the first player out of his stance bar the center. Orlando Brown tries to wide kick step, but quickly realizes he's overwhelmed by speed, throwing a punch that does little to affect Garrett. Myles is on Burrow ready to crunch his ribs before he's even had a chance to process, meeting him at the top of his dropback and forcing a rapid release to the hot route. He doesn't get the sack, but the pressure forces this incomplete. Here's that elite burst again. Rushing from the same spot, he's meeting the tackle 5 yards deep in less than a second. The speed forces Patrick McCarry into a rapid kick step to try to cut off the angle, and this throws his body out of alignment, leaving him too narrow and his head in front of his toes. With the built-up speed and compromised position, Garrett uses those long arms to rip straight through the attempt and crash right into Lamar. Jackson is a wizard and somehow offloads the screen early, but the rush draws a hold, and this play's coming back. With the slot coming on the blitz here, Garrett will alter his rush path to attack the B-gap and is going to practically teleport into the backfield. Dan Moore has barely landed his first kick step before Garrett has him beat inside, and there's nothing Kenny Pickett can do here but get low and try to avoid the brunt of the hit. And even if you put 2 on him, he'll still make you look silly. Coming from the left side this time, Garrett blows by Jonah Williams with a filthy Euro step and swipe, selling the inside angle before exploding off that right foot to beat him round the edge. Travion Williams is there to help chip, but Myles just strengths through it, fighting off the back and tackle's recovery block, then showing off that ridiculous length and closing speed, not letting Burrow escape, whipping him straight to the floor. It certainly ain't just backs he's out muscling. The Herculean body comes with infinite strength, dismantling good form from even the strongest of tackles. On 4th and 1, you want to buy your QB time to scan and find the progression amongst the aggressive defense. But Garrett isn't going to let that happen, pushing the tackle straight back into Keenum off the snap, forcing a scramble and a desperate fling downfield. And here he's going to attack inside with the corner blitzing and make life miserable for Dan Moore. He seems to stall initially, but Garrett has the leverage and simply removes the obstacle from his path, relentlessly rushing to bring down Pickett. His usual wide split allows him to convert his speed to power effortlessly, using good techniques to stay low and drop the thunder through the tackle's chest. Andre Dillard kicks and tries to buy space, but this just allows Garrett to attack him, powering through the block and dumping him back into Tannehill, forcing a dangerous throw. It doesn't have to be planned either. Garrett can tap into that strength whenever he needs it. The Browns use the cover 0 look to force the line to slide left, getting Myles a one-on-one matchup on Patrick McCarry. He kicks well and keeps up with Garrett to the edge, managing to counter his swipe, but Myles sticks on the brakes and gets under McCarry's inside shoulder, shoving him out the play and grabbing the prized possession. And how many players have ever abused Trent Williams like this? Myles plays high to protect the edge, then spotting the play action, stops his momentum and redirects back inside, hip-tossing the all-pro like a tackling dummy, and getting ready to capture McCaffrey. It's actually a screen, but his disruption has been good enough to throw off the timing, leading to a big tackle for loss. These two had an amazing battle back and forth all game long, and if you want to know what elite on elite is, go revisit this matchup. If you still don't think he's the most athletic end in the league, well, check this out. Lined up in the B-gap, Myles denies the attempt by box jumping the line from a 3-point stance. This is some video game shit. How the hell is this even possible? From a 3-point stance? No running starts are allowed anymore. You aren't allowed to jump the center, and you can't land on anybody's back. So this is about the only way you can do it. Dude is just an alien. Raw speed and power only gets you so far. Garrett has mastered control of his body and command over his movement, allowing him to show multiple moves to become truly unblockable. His go-to move is the dip and rip, using that body control and great hand-fighting ability to get under tackles and torture them with both speed and strength. As soon as the tight end motioned and Garrett wasn't doubled, this play was over. Watch him slap away the punch and then get under the arm, dipping to win the leverage and turning the tackle like a turnstile. That's not enough for Garrett though, using those long limbs once more to reach out and poke the ball loose. Rushing from the wide 9 tech here, watch how flexible he is to dip underneath the All-Pro. Trent rightfully kicks wide knowing his speed, so Garrett will straighten his angle before exploding off his left leg, dipping like he's in a limbo contest, and getting under the block to Purdy. He's there to meet him at the top of his dropback, but Purdy shows us that unflappable ability to hit Jennings on the out. And he loves to use that juke step to open up an angle to attack. Not fooled by the Colts play action, he sees the tackle go into a pure pass set and hits him with the juke to open the wide angle. The tackle actually does a good job to recover, but Myles carries too much power through this move and just rips around to Minshew, poking it loose, this time for the turnover. Now we showed the Euro step earlier, but watch the command of his body to counter off that. He's looking to go out in out, but spotting the back coming to chip and save the edge, quickly stabs his right foot in the turf and redirects back inside. And Becton's left spectating as Garrett drops Trevor Siemian. And watch this devastating spin against the Ravens. The fast first step forces the quick kick step wide to meet him, and Garrett will flash his beloved rip by extending his left arm, getting him to throw his punch early. But this is all a setup as Myles pirouettes back inside, sending the tackle tumbling to the turf and opening a clear path to Lamar. Even he's got no chance to escape this, and Garrett is burying him in the shadow of Brownie the Elf. The effort is always nonstop too. It doesn't matter how many you send, he's gonna take them all on and play to the echo of the whistle. He's gonna see the left tackle in the back here and claim what's rightfully his. He goes to his beloved dip and rip move here to take on the tackle, getting low and turning his body sideways to make the target for the punch smaller, using that crazy body control to turn acutely and under the attempted punch. The back tries to help out, but Garrett just pinballs him out the way and dives on the loose ball. And here's the effort through the double combined with multiple moves. Parkinson is going to stay in to chip, but Garrett shoves him aside to take on the tackle and tries to swim outside. The tackle counters and is in position thanks to the chip, but Garrett finds a crack inside, working the inside shoulder to find his way to Geno. This video doesn't have a sponsor, so it's sponsored by us and our Patreon. You can find all our college breakdowns over there, including all SEC players we can't show on YouTube, and plenty of exclusive content coming this summer. Alright, back to the video. As dominant as he was in the passing game, he was even more so against the run, closing down any options against this fearsome Cleveland defense. Playing defensive end, the first thing you gotta do is defend the edge, and Garrett was superb here, sending any run back inside to the help and even entirely blowing up the play with it. Watch the great technique here against Williams to get high to defend the edge, long arm to keep him at a distance, then peek the runner, shed, and make the tackle. Put that in your coach's film. Here it is once more against the Colts. He's working high to protect the C-gap and stop the outside run, extending his arms to kick the tackle at a distance, peeking the back before shedding the block when the run comes his way, capturing the back for a tackle for loss. Running away from him isn't an option either. The Ravens are attempting to run GT counter, but this leaves your tight end trying to cut off Myles Garrett on the backside. And that is just never gonna happen. He's all over it, jumping inside to attack the pullers and force McCarry to peel back and help Andrews, leaving nowhere for Gus Edwards to go. He's not the one on the stat sheet, but he won this play. And then there's just the damn dominant snaps that have you questioning why teams aren't sending two his way on every play. He's all over the Titans' inside zone from shotgun here, jumping the gap with that elite first step, meeting Derrick Henry at the handoff. He's got no time to react, and Garrett claims another victim. Third and a short one here for the Texans, and they're going to go risky, trying to run off tackle at Garrett. He goes high to stop any wide run, leaving the tackle blocking air, and then has the bend to capture the back too. Elite stuff. And here against the Colts, they do put 2 on him, but he's just going to outstrength them both, winning the leverage battle and swimming his way through to capture Zach Moss. Lightning in a Greek god-shaped bottle, Garrett has truly entered his prime as his mastering of technique mirrors his winning of the genetic lottery. He has every tool an edge player could need and is impossible to keep out of the backfield for 4 quarters. I would say that he was built in a lab, but not even the dudes at Boston Dynamic could come up with this. With 1 Defensive Player of the Year award earned, look for him to add to that career total as he searches for that final bit of trophy wear, the gold jacket.